What's up, guys? It's Chase from Chase's Workshop. This is going to be part 4 of installing the B&G Bender kit that you can buy from me at my website, cwkshop.com. If you want to get one from me, you can go down in the description. I'll put a link to my website there. If you haven't seen the other 3 videos, you can click right here and you can go back and see those. Now, what I want to do in this video, hopefully by the end of this video, we'll have some sounds out of this guy. I'm going to be installing this connecting rod from our lower arm to our upper arm, and we're going to be cutting the strap arm piece here to fit, and then once we get everything strung up and everything, we're going to actually cut our tuner to fit right here. Now, from the last video, if you remember, I told you I had a little clearance issue right here. I went in here and all I did was I just took a chisel and kind of chiseled that out. And I'm going to go back when I get all this stuff back out of here, and I'm going to sand this guy down and I'm going to paint it back to the same color. Now, if you're wondering what I used to paint it, it was just stuff right here. It's just an acrylic paint. You can buy this stuff at Hobby Lobby, anywhere. It was just something I had lying around, and like I said, very cheap, very easy to find, very easy to use. Now, to start, what I want to do is I want to go over something that I'm fixing to start adding to the kits, and I kind of came up with it while I was doing this. And I've always known it's kind of giving me an issue, but I'm wanting to put this piece of felt right here under this upper arm. And the reason why is because if you listen, and then if I put my piece of felt down here, it gets rid of that clicking. Now, one thing that I didn't anticipate is that before, when I cut this hole, I didn't anticipate for this extra room. So there might be 1 or 2 things I have to do once I get this thing strung up. If I don't have enough room here for this thing to actually fully engage the G string, I'm going to have to either countersink this piece of felt, or I'm going to have to make this hole here just a little bit bigger. And like I said, it's just trial and error kind of at this point. So with that being said, like I said, when I start selling these kits, I'm gonna add this to just a little piece of felt for you to put in here to compensate for that clicking sound. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to size our connecting rod here with our rod ends to go between our upper and lower arm. Now, the way I do this is what I want this actually to sit about halfway into my rod end. So if you can see it right there, I want it to sit about right in there inside of that. As you can tell, it's threaded on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on here and I'm going to count how many turns. So I've got, let's see here. So I've got, let me get it started. And it doesn't have to be perfect, you just want it to be close. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, so about 14. So I need to come back about 7 turns. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that right? That should be pretty close. I hope you get the idea of what I'm trying to do there. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to connect this thing at the furthest point that it can be. Now, I went ahead and set this piece of felt under here because I want this thing to be bottomed out to where it's going to be bottomed out when the actual everything's together. So if you're not going to put something here, you need to bottom it all the way down. So I'm going to bottom this all the way out. I can put this in here probably to help hold it down. And then I'm going to bottom this back against the back here. And I want to go from the longest point. I want to go from this screw hole here to this screw hole here. If I go from here to here, that would be the shortest distance. From here to here would be the longest. So I want to go from here to there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this guy and I'm going to install it on this top here. I'm going to do the same thing down here, but I'm not going to connect it. I'm just going to stick it in there. Now, with this bottomed out and this bottomed out, I'm going to get a measurement here about halfway of our threads of our rod end. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a marker and I'm going to just mark it. That easy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out here and I'm going to cut this part here. So I'll be back in a jiffy. Alright, so that was easy enough, right? I went ahead and cut this. Now, this is a 10/32 thread, so if you can clean this up by taking a 10/32 die and try to run it on there and make sure it works good. Now, I don't know if this thing got out of whack here, but I'm going to count this thing back on here 7 times. So we've got, now I'm going to pull this guy back out. I'm going to start it on here. 1, 2, 7. That should get us pretty close. See, I'm a little long, so I'm going to just turn this thing a couple times until I line it up right. There it is. I might go one more half a turn, so I'm not actually bottoming out against the back of the cavity here. There it is. So now our mechanism should connect. Okay, so I'm having to go back now to show you how to attach the tremolo spring to the tremolo block mount. I used to sell the kit with this part here, and what you would do is you would drill a hole in it and you would mount your tremolo spring to that. The only problem with it is when you're doing the G-bender, or when you're mounting this on the bottom, this spring has to turn a different way than it does if you mount it up here, and it doesn't work as well. So I decided to change it out to this block, and from now I've been selling this with the kit for maybe a month or 2. What this guy does is basically you mount it in there like that. This just screws to the body. Just make sure when you're screwing this thing in, especially if you're coming down here, you watch out for the string furls, of course. And then if you think about it, there is screws right in here for the bridge. So if you're drilling down into this, make sure to account for that. Now, I always pre-drill this too. I got a video of me doing it, but it didn't turn out for some reason. So just make sure you pre-drill it and then put a screw in. And I've just got a sheetrock screw. So that's what's holding the actual spring in. Now, to tension this guy, initially my main thing was to have it to where you could turn it with a wrench, which is kind of still hard to do that way. I mean, once you get it tensioned, the easiest way to actually get a good amount of tension on it is just to take something and put it here, hold back on the arm right here, and just pull up like that. Then you can take it and run this thumb nut up. And then once you get it where you want it, just take this and tighten it down. Like I said, with a B-bender, more than likely your spring is going to be up here and back a little bit, so to give you more room for this guy. You could put it anywhere though, technically. And I also still do send this part with the kit, to where if it's a situation where you can't mount this, you still have an option. So there's that part. Now what we're going to work on is the actual part here. Okay, so we're going to put this guy in. I need to. That's going to screw into there. I'm bottoming out, so I need to adjust this a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this guy loose and adjust this guy some more here. Turn it a couple turns. Okay, so now I'm bottomed out here, but I'm not hitting the back. Like so. Okay, I hope you saw what I did. This was bottoming out back here before this was touching down, so I had to adjust this length just a little bit to get it to work right. But that's doing pretty good. So what I've got to do here is I've got a strap piece. I want that guy to be right at the edge of that there. So what I'll do is I'll mark our black piece here. About right there. I'll pull that off. And then I want to cut this inside of that. So we want to go, and remember too that when you put your strap on, your strap's going to sit in between this and this. So you might want to add just a little bit more of this rod where it'll do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut this piece. Okay, so I've cut this piece now. So now we're looking pretty close there. Hope you can see that good. So I want to cut this guy right on that edge there of that. So literally got cut off, what, 1/4 of an inch maybe. Right. So yeah, we got to cut off that much. Alright, so I've cut that off. Take a 1/4-20 die here. And try to clean up these threads a little bit. I'm just going to screw this on here. Clean them up. So at least it'll go in there. I'm going to try to thread that part of cut into the upper arm. Now, we've got that done. Pretty simple. Oh, one other thing I've got to do is I've got to put the nut onto the back of this here. Now you want to make sure that your knob is screwed in all the way, and then you want to take this guy. Now just take a pair of pliers, whatever, and just give it a good turn, and that'll lock that string knob from coming loose. So there's that part. Now what we got to do is we got to flip this guy over, and we got to start working on putting our bridge and all this stuff back together. Okay, now that I've got the bridge here, this is a good time to change out these crappy Squire pickups. And what I've got here is I've got a set of Lawler pickups that I've had for a pretty good while, and I really like them. I'm going to put those in this guy instead of the standard Squire pickups. If you don't know, usually on the cheaper end guitars, one of the places they skimp the most at is on the electronics. Got the bridge. I've took the Squire pickup out of it, and I'm going to be putting a set of Lawler pickups in this guitar. I'm going to put these Lawler pickups in here, but before I do that, I'm going to fix this G-string saddle right here to accept our string through saddle. Alright, so I've got my bridge here. I'm going to pull the G, E, A, D, G, and I'm probably going to have to drill out this hole just a little bit in order for it to accept the little bit thicker vented head screw, which on this guy here. These also too, I'm fixing to start selling. You'll probably see these in the next couple of weeks on my website. I'm going to be selling those guys as well. Yes, I'm going to have to drill it out just a little bit. I mean, it's close, but it's just a little too small. So I'll probably go find a bit that'll fit that, and I'll drill it out right quick. Okay, here is a 5/32. A little bit bigger than the 1/8 inch, but we're going to go with it. So like I said, we're just going to drill this guy out. Good. We are way good. Alright, so now we're going to put our saddle in here. So we're going to take this guy, put it through, and then we're going to attach it. Now, I don't know if you saw where I was messing with this guy, but we're going to leave the screw long for right now. Once we get the intonation set on this guy, we'll come back and adjust all of that. So there's that. Now we've got our vented head screw there, or vented head screw with our saddle, so the string can go through the back into the bridge. Alright, now I'm getting the Lawler pickup installed here. Cool. So we've got our bridge reinstalled. Next thing I'm going to do is I've got another pick guard I'm going to put on this guy. The one that came on it, I really don't like it. I'm going to try to find it, and I will add in our other Lawler pickup, and we'll get that installed. Alright, so I can't find the pick guard I want to do, but I've got a vintage amber white, or vintage white pick guard that I want to put on this thing. But I'm going to use this one for now to finish it, to get to the next point. But anyways, I've already went ahead and changed out to the Lawler pickups. These are the ones that came with the Telecaster, and like I said, this is where they skimp at on parts for these cheaper model Fenders. But anyways, so got two Lawler pickups, matched pickups in here, And the next thing you'll see is probably this guitar completely together, and then we can start working on stringing it up and all that kind of stuff. So, well, alright guys, so I have the actual guy done here. There's only one issue that I really ran into, and if you remember back when I was cutting the hole for this strap trim piece, or strap here, you can kind of see it on this side of the guitar. It's like a little hump right there. Well, I had the same thing over here, and what was happening was when I would engage the bender, this half-inch piece wanted to rest into that spot, and then when I tried to do a slow release, it would go over that hump, and then it would fly back down into this second hole down here on the bottom, and I just couldn't do a slow release, and it kept this wasn't sounding right. So I took a file, went back in there, and I cut that off of there so that it wouldn't do that. Now hopefully in the future, like I said, my main goal with this series too is designing a strap trim piece and a back cover. So then I'll feel like this thing would be more of a complete kit. And that's one reason why I've been working on my CNC machine so much, is trying to get it to where I can do that kind of stuff. The actual, I haven't trimmed this yet. I've got the intonation set, but I haven't went back and cut my saddle screw right there, the bended head screw. If you haven't seen the video where I go over that, you can go right there, and I'll put a video where you can see that. The actual knob, the string comes off of it pretty level and goes into the bended headed screw. That's one thing you want to try to do is try to keep it as level as possible. Try to keep it as level as possible and let it go into that bended head screw right off of the knob. Now when I make these guys, I account for that because normally most of the bridges are roughly the same height. But if you do have an issue with it, you can take this guy and you can push the string down a little bit, or you can lift it up a little bit, however you want to. And you can even file a little groove in the side of the knob to keep it in that spot. One other thing I didn't do was I didn't put the G string underneath the string tree right here. I just let it float over the top of it. And if it comes an issue, I might get some of those roller tree saddles and put one there to compensate for that. But anytime you have the string rubbing against something, you're going to have an area that could possibly have break the string. One other thing I thought about too is getting some, if you get one of these kits and you're having issues with it staying tuned, you could get a locking tuner from I know Fender sells them, Goth tuners, a bunch of different ones sell them, but you can get the locking tuners to where it kind of alleviate that. I didn't have any issues with this one, and this is a Squire, so this thing stays pretty much in tune. So far, I put new strings on, of course, you're going to have a lot of issues with the strings coming out of tune for a little bit. But other than that, it did pretty good. Now, I do have the Lawler pickups in here, and they sound really good. I like the way they sound. So the pickups sound really well. I like the way they sound. Anyways, one other problem I'm having is that I do not know how to play a G bender, so I'm just going to give you some slow bends and just some other stuff to where you can kind of see what it sounds like. I would really like some of you guys that have bought bender kits from me. If you're really good at playing the bender, send me some videos of you guys playing them. I would love to share them. I'd love to see them. And then you could even send me a lesson if you want to. But anyways, guys, so here we go. I'm just going to kind of do some slow bends and some things with it to where you can kind of hear what it sounds like. So let's do. I don't think I'm tuned. Let me tune it right quick. Tune it. So there's the G, the tuner, or this guy. I just go up a whole step because we're going from a G to an A. So I just pluck that one, engage the tuner. That's pretty close. So, here we go. like I said, I can't play the dang thing, but I really like the way it sounds. Anyways, like I said, hopefully, like I said, the next couple videos, I want to get the back cover and the strap trim piece done, and hopefully by then I'll have some time to where I can sit down with this guy and maybe learn some Brad Paisley licks, because I know he uses a G bender religiously along with the B bender. And so I'm hoping I can find some tabs and some things like that. If any of you guys out there that play one and are good at it, send me some videos of you playing them. They don't have to be one that you bought from me. You just send me some videos and maybe a couple lessons or something, and we can share them, and you can watch me struggle to learn them. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video series. And like I said, this isn't going to be the end of it, so I'm going to try to keep this thing going for a little while with some updates and things like that. And then the parts I'm going to try to add to the kit. So guys, if you have any questions, leave them below in the comments. Send me an email, however you want to get in touch with me. If you haven't visited my website, cwkshop.com, you can go there and you can pick up one of these bender kits, and I will be glad to build it for you. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a like. If you liked it, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.